I just finished up restoring this 2018 KTM 350 XCF. This thing was a total basket case. I received it after the previous owner blew it up during a race. Now we put a ton of hours into bringing this thing back to life and making it a custom build. And today's a super fun day because it's testing day. We're here at Badlands Off-Road Park in Attica, Indiana, and the goal of today's ride is to make sure that this bike runs through all the gears and everything functions. It won't be anything crazy. We really just want to make sure we didn't forget to tighten any bolts because that could be bad. Anyways, if you haven't seen the build series, make sure to go back and check it out. It was absolutely amazing, the transformation. All right, let's get to the park and see how this KTM runs.
Ooh. All right, guys. Not gonna lie, I've got the jitras a little bit. I think we've got the throttle scenario all fixed up. It seems to return just fine. I replaced the cables, so I guess those were the original cables. I had just lubed them up and they felt really good, but I guess not. So we replaced those. Our brake has pressure now. It's not like fully bled. For whatever reason, I'm having just trouble completely bleeding the system, but it'll do an endo if you squeeze it. So we've got enough brake pressure. And that clutch thing is definitely a little bit weird. We do need to switch that out. You get drag at low speed. As long as you're like moving quick, it seems to be okay. So, oh, damn it. But that's definitely something that needs to be replaced, but I think we'll be okay to go for our first ride today. And I do think the valves need to be shimmed because it just doesn't start and stay running quite as nicely as I would like. Alrighty. Whew. Let's see if we can shake the jitras out. I guess we could have gone the other way too. We are at Badlands Off-Road Park in Attica, Indiana. This is one of my favorite riding parks. It just worked out. So I'm actually headed to Nebraska. And I'm coming from the Philadelphia area. It's kind of like going across the center of the country. And Indiana is literally on the way. Unfortunately, we're a little bit tight on time. I'll probably spend like max an hour because I have another 10 hours to go to get out to Power Sports Nation, which is in Norfolk, Nebraska. I'm not really that great of a rider, so like me riding it 100% as fast as I can go is probably like 10% of what this bike has to offer. So I think we should be okay, but I'm still just gonna take it easy. The bike feels really, really nimble. The last time I rode a gas bike was the KX250X. Awesome bike. This definitely feels like it. I think like the fork angle or the head angle, whatever you call it, is different. Dude, there's an Argo. It's two of them, 6x6s. But I think that changes the geometry where this is more of a trail bike as opposed to the KX250X, which has, I think that's got the same frame as like the regular KX250. So that's like more of a motocross bike. Everybody was like, once you get on the KTM, you're never gonna wanna ride the Kawasaki again. So we'll see if that's true. We gotta get a feel for the suspension done by Rocket Ron. Oh, dude, it does feel like really nice. I just have to remember to chill out and not go too crazy. Let's take it on these bumps here. Got nice smooth linear power. It's basically stock bike. I have the power bomb header on there and a tune. Supposedly that does wake these up quite a bit though. If you guys have ever ridden here at Badlands, this stuff is basically like sand. I think it's called pea gravel. Yeah, dude. This bike's got some power. Feels good. It's not quite like a 450, but definitely more than the 250. And again, guys, I'm just kind of taking it easy here. One, because I suck at riding, and two, again, fresh build. I just like to make sure that the wheel doesn't fall off or anything. I think the clutch actually, well, maybe the tire's breaking loose. I think the clutch might still be slipping. I'm not sure. Again, that slave cylinder thing, definitely want to swap that out. The guy at Recluse basically told me that you can adjust it to make it work, but you're constantly going to be adjusting it to make it right, whereas like the one that's made for it auto adjusts. So we don't want to be messing with that. Badlands is cool. They've got directional trails for the most part, so you don't have to be as worried of running into somebody. There's still people that go the wrong way sometimes. But for the most part, you don't have to worry here, which is really nice. This definitely has way more torque than my 250. I felt like I was shifting a lot with the 250. You can tractor this thing, dude. You know what I didn't do? I didn't fuel up. But you know what's so nice about this clear tank is that I can see we've got plenty of fuel. Man, the second you give it like any power, you can feel the back end just breaking free. Whoop. I'm getting a feel for these attack grip frame grips. Not as grippy as the Cherbys, like the ones that are already molded. It's kind of like a rubber. I feel like those were a little bit grippier. But I also just put SC1 on the bike, which is a detailer and it's slippery. That stuff kind of gets all over, so that might have to wear off. So the bike is running pretty good, but like I said, we're definitely in maintenance mode here, because if you've ever built a bike or even done like a rebuild, you always got to watch out for like a loose bolt or something, you know, like up at the forks and stuff. It's just, you want to check that stuff out before you start going super hard. I also want to mention, because I know that not everybody watches these series from start to finish, but the name Legend that I came up with for this bike, it really has nothing to do with me. It's supposed to be a tribute to two different things. The first being the brand of KTM, which is just a legendary brand. If you're in power sports, man, everybody knows KTM. In dirt bikes and even in ATVs, if you look back, I think it was in like 2008, they came out with two ATVs. They had a 450 and a 525. I think they had a 505 also, which had a lot of issues and stuff, but they're super fast and people modify those things and it's like unbelievable how fast they are. They had great geometry and all, and their bikes are really no different. So it's really been cool to get into the bike side of things and see why this is such a legendary brand. The second reason is for the heritage of this particular bike. It was owned by two local racers. You know, when you're in power sports or, you know, any industry, everybody knows the big names, man. Like the NFL superstars of football and the big names like Travis Pastrana and Brian Deegan and just like big names in the industry. Everybody knows them, which is awesome. I'm not taking anything away from those guys. They have the most incredible talent. But sometimes like you could step down like one tier of skill level and you get these guys that are so incredibly skilled. Every weekend, you know, they're going out and racing and stuff. They work hard at their day jobs and they're spending all their free time and all their spare money on their bikes and on racing. And most of those guys go unrecognized. And those are the guys that are out there riding with their buddies and they're keeping the sport alive. And that to me is absolutely legendary. This bike was owned by Hank Knabe, excellent rider. I never actually got to ride with these guys. I'm hoping to ride with them soon because they are local to me. He was a local racer. He sold it to Mike Leo. Mike Leo is the guy that I bought it from. Mike Leo, another tremendous rider. I've seen some videos of him riding and he was featured in magazines. So if you're featured in magazines, I imagine, Mike, you're a pretty good rider. Like who doesn't have that friend in the group or their dad or whoever in their riding group that's the crazy guy, the guy that no matter what hill climb he looks at, he's going up it, or no matter how big the jump is, he's going to hit it
fourth gear pinned every single time, right off the gate, like straight out of the gate. These dudes, like, if you meet up with another new group of riding guys, it's like, yo, nobody can beat this guy. Those are the guys I'm talking about. Like, all those guys are legendary in their groups, but if you don't know, you don't know. And it's like, those people deserve recognition too, man. So that's kind of the whole idea of the legend theme of this bike. And I hope that one day I can be one of those legends, but it's unlikely. If you come in close here, one of the details in the legend logo that I designed, if you look at the E and the G, you can see the E is backwards and the G is flipped. It's supposed to look like 39. That was Mike Leo's number, the guy that raced this bike before me. Now, I got to make my own history with this thing, so I put my number on there, but I did want to include kind of like that little, if you know, you know, and it gives a little bit of, adds a story to the bike. Anyways, you got to check out this cabin. We're here at Badlands Off-Road. I have stayed at a cabin down that way. I've been in a cabin around the corner here, and there's another one called the Pond House that was freaking awesome. And I just really enjoy staying here at Badlands. I wanted to show you guys the cabins. This is the first time I've ever stayed in a smaller cabin, and it's really nice, man. So it's just me here this time, but you could easily accommodate, I would say, 2 couples and like more kids or a friend. Got a little bathroom here with a shower. And again, this is one of their smaller cabins. And you got a full kitchen, so you can make food with your buddies and everything. Got a little kitchen table here, big ass TV. Got a couch. But what's nice about this couch is it's a pull-out couch. It's got a good pull-out game too, man. Look at that mattress. It's I think it's actually a pretty decent mattress. So you could have like a couple stay out here if they really had to, or at least like one person. And if you've got that friend that always falls asleep in a big comfy chair, man, you got the perfect chair for it right here. And coming around here, we've got 2 bedrooms with queen beds. Pretty basic, just an empty room with a nice bed in it. And then kind of like a duplicate over here, but this one's got its own little bathroom. Just a basic little bathroom, but it's very nice. Statistically speaking, you could have 1 couple in this room, 1 couple in this room, and 1 couple out here. That's a lot of people in this small cabin. But realistically though, yeah, you could probably have, I would say like 3 to 6 people in this comfortably. Or if it's just your buddies, you could have your three like people, and you each have your own bed, which is pretty freaking sweet. And these places are pretty affordable. The smaller ones like this, it's like getting a hotel room. It is definitely worth it. Let's get back to the trails.
This thing's got some balls, man. Definitely timid on this thing. I think it would take a day or 2 of riding on it before I get comfortable. Dude, the whole time, I swear, if I lean back just a little bit, the front end's gonna come up. You can feel the power. It's like right on the edge of wanting to lift the front up. Even in like 5th gear, the Kawasaki did not have that much power. It's definitely got more power than the Kawi. And it revs like the Kawi too, dude. It's got some serious over-rev. It's got, so this is like the best of both worlds. It's got the over-rev of the Kawasaki, and it's got the torque of a 450. I see why people love these things. This is an awesome bike, dude. Woo! Man, that over-rev, you gotta twist that throttle all the way, man. Holy shit, it's like it has a whole other gear. Wow. This thing is really... It didn't feel as impressive at home, but I think I just wasn't opening it up. Here on the dirt, this is in like a straight line, is like pretty much the only place that I'm capable of doing that. This thing, I have a lot of room to grow in this bike for sure. I'm always afraid with dirt bikes that if I dump the clutch, it's just gonna mousetrap on me. Oh, dude. What a pleasure to ride. This thing is so smooth. Dude, the over-rev on this thing is just wild. Oh my God! Holy shit, dude. That's gotta be like, I don't know, that's gotta be at least 70 miles an hour. And I'm not even topped out. I am just really impressed with this bike, dude. Check this out. We'll go to like, I don't know, this is like what, 5,000, 6,000 RPMs? Now check this out. Oh my God, dude. You could really be aggressive with this, dude. I do not have the skill level to show what this bike can do, man. This thing is really sick. My helmet feels like it's gonna fly off. Oh man, it's so funny. I get like quiet. I noticed. When I'm like really in it there, I'm like, oh my God. I hope there's not a f***ing rut. Yeah, baby. I love this thing. Woo! Oh man, I can't get enough of this thing. Unfortunately, we got to pack it up, dude. I got to get over to Nebraska. We will be doing plenty more of riding with this thing, I promise. What an awesome machine. We definitely revved it to the moon, dude. I think our engine is good and bulletproof. I hope so, anyways. Freaking awesome, dude. Hell yeah. Dude, this thing is a beast. I could not be happier, man. Riding it around the house, I was like, this thing doesn't really have that much power. Like it didn't really feel like it had the power of my KX250, to be honest. And now that I've opened it up, man, this thing definitely has more power. It's more nimble, it handles better. Everything just feels super smooth. It couldn't have gone better, dude. I'm super stoked. If you were to put like a skilled rider on here, my God, it would just be awesome to see what this thing can do. So now's a good time to go over everything, make sure all the nuts and bolts are good and tight. And I got to get my skid plate on there. I usually don't run the skid plate on the first ride because I like to look for leaks and stuff, and I just kind of avoided rocks. It's really not the smartest idea. You should put the skid plate on there. But that'll be going on after I clean it up and just go over everything and make sure everything is good and tight. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a big thumbs up. That helps me out tremendously. And please let me know in the comment section below what you think of the KTM 350. Man, I'm just, like I said, I couldn't be happier. Super stoked. I love all you guys. I'll see you in the next video. I'm off to Nebraska to build a Can-Am X3, and I'll see you guys there. Peace out.